I'm looking at the capex for these two markets. I know they are decades apart, but I think at the rate at which Ethiopia is growing, sooner or later we sort of might have a convergence, so that sort of a build-up, or even it goes ahead at it. So I was comparing the priority areas for your capital expenditure, looking at Kenya, for example, where you've put 40.4 billion year on year, and we are seeing IT is very critical, investing 28 or 29% of that, and Ethiopia, what is critical is radio access so far right now. Just help us understand how those two elements of capex between the two markets vary.
Yeah. So in Kenya, this is the highest capex investment that we have done ever in the history of Kenya. Last year, 40.4 billion capex that you have seen. And you are absolutely right on IT spend. If you followed our strategy, Safaricom strategy, which is, we said that we are kind of midway into our strategy. By 2025, we want to become a purpose-led technology company. So a purpose-led technology company, if you want to become a technology company, you need to invest in IT. So IT becomes the enabler. Yeah, we have platform plays, which kind of justifies that, the focus on investment in IT. And then we are investing in fiber, a big way, whether it's for business or for consumer. We have started investing in 5G, which is going to take time, but it's going to be another growth engine. We're investing in our enterprise businesses, which is still tiny, but has huge potential to grow. Yeah. So we are investing in Kenya to make sure that the growth opportunities are really the main focus as far as the investment is concerned. Ethiopia, you're right, we invested in Kenyan shilling equivalent of 56 billion. And now we are in the build-up phase, right? So we are building infrastructure, we are building fiber, we are building base stations, and the focus will continue. And we did mention about, we have a 5-year kind of a peak investment horizon in Ethiopia, and we're going to be investing anything between 1.5 billion to $2 billion as a consortium as a whole. And of course, our 56% will be whatever that amount is. So that's a significant part of the investment that we're going to do. Okay. So we keep focusing on our capex investment. Telecom is very capex intense. You need to keep focusing on it to make sure that the network that you build, so that you can, when you're using the services, you're happy about the services that you're using. So that's the focus. Kenya, we continue to invest in the new growth areas. Ethiopia, we make sure that we scale up and cover the country as quickly as possible. In fact, we've spoken about doubling the network in Ethiopia that what we have in Kenya. And population is also like almost double that of Kenya, right? Ethiopia is about 115 million people. Okay. So that's our 10-year horizon of investment in Ethiopia.
And looking at the rate at which Ethiopia is sort of growing and the numbers, the way you're projecting it, how soon will it sort of have a break-even moment and start making money?
So what we have mentioned about a break-even in year 4, what we call that EBITDA, earning before interest, depreciation and tax, by year 4. Mm-hmm. And we have spoken about, so roughly Kenya is about 51-52% EBITDA margin. We said that by year 10, we have a steady state EBITDA margin of 40%. Yeah. And these are not necessarily a guidance, but this is kind of an outlook that we educate our investors and analysts. There's one thing that probably, since you've spoken about the size, what are you talking about, see, in 10-year time of Ethiopia? We anticipate Ethiopia to be equal to what Kenya is today in 10 years' time, yeah? I don't know that you have noticed or not, we just crossed 300 billion top line revenue in Kenya, the first company to cross that milestone. And you're talking about this, in 10 years' time, Ethiopia have an opportunity to be at that level. Of course, there's a lot of work to be done in that. So that's the opportunity. Kenya, in terms of mobile financial services, there is still a long runway for us to grow. We have been growing double digit in M-Pesa. You've seen that now is contributing to 40% of our service revenue, which is a strong momentum. Mobile data is still a very early stage, growing double digit. Fixed, we are investing a lot. We are growing over 20%. So there are quite a few growth engines that are going to propel that. And that will justify our investment that we're making both in Kenya as well as in Ethiopia.
And even as looking at the financial services part of it, the overdraft services, very popular, the Fuliza amongst the people, and as part of diversification and growth strategy, now you provided these to businesses.
Yeah.
And a lot of uptake, the sort of hunger for credit in this market. Is that an area also that you intend to double down, and is it a model that can be replicated in the Ethiopian market?
Very good question. Maybe I start with Ethiopia. So you have noticed that we now have the license, mobile financial services license, to roll out M-Pesa in Ethiopia. That actually got only on the day of our earnings release on 11th of May. A long wait, but we're happy. So what it allows us to roll out pretty much everything that we have in Kenya. As you know, Kenya is really the model market as far as mobile financial services is concerned. And we have M-Pesa Africa, which is a JV between Vodacom and us, which allows us to now make sure that products and those launches are standardized and can be launched very quickly. So that's what we are doing. So we are very hopeful. In fact, we went public to say that by Q2 of this financial year, we should be launching in Ethiopia our mobile financial services. Now, do we launch overdraft products from day one? Maybe not, but we start with something, basic products, and then we kind of scale up. But we don't need to wait for the way we waited for Kenya, like it took 15 years to get into some of the services that we are launching, including, as you rightly mentioned, the overdraft for business. We have everything ready, and the team is, from Kenya. They are parked there to make sure that we can launch it very quickly.
Okay, that's great prospects. Now, as we finish this discussion, I know you've mentioned the strategy for the company, fully going into transforming into a technology company, and I'm looking at that. The other new avenues of growth. Talk about the Internet of Things. The world is really changing right now. We're talking even cryptocurrency. We're talking the world opening up. So in the financial services, remittances, cross global money transactions. From where you sit, which one holds the greatest potential in terms of the future, and the area that you think that is sort of a golden goose in the near future? What will that be?
Okay, I won't go into a golden goose conversation because that's not fair.
Yeah.
But I think some of the areas are quite exciting. You did mention about IoT, Internet of Things. That has been one of our key focus area. If you have noticed our earnings release presentation, so we give reference of some of these new areas, ICT, cybersecurity, cloud services, Internet of Things. We have 1.5 million connections on Internet of Things as the end of March last financial year. Now, moving from a vanilla connection more into solution is what we are going. For example, water meter, electricity meter, vehicle solutions, vehicle tracking. We are present, but we are now upgrading, and these revenue lines are growing 50%. Content is a big play. The people are content hungry here. So we are doing exceptionally well in that space. That revenue line is growing 50%. So there's quite a few areas in this, and the enterprise. So from just a connectivity to a solution, Yeah, so you have seen that some of the areas like we are partnering. We just did in financial services like Hustler Fund. We are the one who provided the platform. Yeah, we are participating in the fertilizer subsidy. There are quite a few things which are coming up. For example, digitization agenda of the government, where the services, the public services, how can we digitize? We are working with the counties. Many counties now supporting them, but it's all our technology which is enabling those solutions for the general public. Okay. So that's what I'm very excited about, that if you truly stay tuned to your purpose of transforming lives through technology, then you can really become a purpose-led technology company.
Oh, beautiful. I think heavy lessons right there, Mr. Dilip. Even it can apply to personal lives. If you remain focused on your purpose, you can have greater impact rather than just hitting left, right, and center. I think this has been a good conversation. We've barely scratched the surface, but at least you've touched on the most important thing. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me here.
Beautiful. Dilip Pal, CFO, Safaricom, saying the prospects are unimaginable, but technology is here to stay, and the sooner we familiarize ourselves with these new platforms, Internet of Things, be curious. Safaricom is curious, and I think it's a challenge that we can take also personally in our own lives, and sort of pivot into the tech world. What can we contribute in that regard? But that's the latest from the world of Safaricom and the potential, not only in Kenya, but also in the Ethiopian market. I live with the markets. My name is Noki Kumbo.